Hafa Guam, and thanks for streaming or watching us on KUAM TV. I'm Jason Salas. We hope you and your family are staying home and staying safe this evening.
We start with the latest on the coronavirus. Guam recorded its 15th COVID connection death Saturday. The governor's office says a 55-year-old man who was admitted to GMH on August 29th passed away Friday night around 9:15. Adelup says the man suffered from comorbidities compounded by COVID-19. In a news release, the governor offered her condolences to the man's family and is urging the public to continue to stay home, wear masks, and practice social distancing. As for Guam's COVID case count, as of Friday, there were 59 positive cases out of 622 samples. There are 48 hospitalizations at GMH with 11 cases in ICU. The total number of COVID cases on Guam is now 1,619. Limited community testing was held in Talofofo Saturday. Only 200 tests were being offered, and you had to register through the mayor's office before being allowed to be tested. Talofofo Mayor staffer Kimberly Salas.
And there were some people that were venting to me over the phone that they were told to come out here and get tested, but then because our pre-registration's already closed and limited to 200, they weren't able. They're still waiting on the list. Yeah, that's
right. People were saying that they didn't know that they had to pre-register.
Yeah, we got the information from public health, so I guess maybe they didn't do the flyer right away, because the minute we put it out on our chats, it wasn't only Talofofo that registered. There's people from outside the village, but the minute we put it in our chats, like the neighborhood watch and the community chat, it went viral. Everyone started calling. Yeah.
So we're testing 200 this morning. How many people do you think got turned away because they didn't register in time?
Man, a lot. I kind of felt bad. So I was trying to tell them that the next testing will probably be at UMATIC Mayor's office, September 19th. Right. Yeah. And that I'm not sure if they have to pre-register.
Public Health's new spokesperson, Janela Carrera, says they will work harder to better publicize testing opportunities as the 200 slots that were available for Saturday's COVID-19 outreach filled up as soon as the testing was announced through the mayor's office. Carrera said there are still many ways for island residents to be tested for the virus, including at Public Health's Northern Clinic and at two-tier clinics like American Medical Center.
So we're hearing from some residents who had called 311 and they were told to just come down and get tested, and then we're talking with the Talofofo Mayor's office. It looks like they didn't get much of a heads up. So I guess, again, just moving forward, how are you going to better publicize the testing availability if we're going to limit the number of people that can get tested?
Well, we do have a couple of weeks to plan and strategize for the next community testing. So things change, plans can change, and hopefully we learn a little bit more, a little bit better as things move along.
For the latest on containing COVID, check out KUAM.com or our social media properties. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matsinani.
Well, if you happen to have been paid pandemic unemployment assistance and you weren't supposed to receive it, you can expect a phone call from the Guam Department of Labor.
It's probably the worst part of my job is recovering overpayments.
Labor Director Dave Della Sola couldn't say how much in overpayments were made, but he can say they're going to recoup the cash.
And that's where it's going to get ugly, because you got some people out there that think that because they were unemployed that they went in, they applied, and they got the money. But then we found out that their unemployment isn't because of COVID, and they have to pay back that money. And of course they get angry and it gets pretty ugly. But I don't make the rules. I'm not a judge. It's black and white. And if the reason that you're not working is because of another reason, but it has nothing to do with COVID, then you don't qualify for this program. And if you get paid, then you're going to have to repay that money back.
According to Della Sola, the feds are chipping in to provide assistance.
I do want to say that I did get a letter the other day that the U.S. Department of Labor is looking to give us an additional over $200,000 to help fight the effects and prevent fraud, ID theft, and recover overpayments. So I'm happy to get that a little bit of an injection to assist us with the overwhelming amount of fraud claims that we're getting, and trying to fight that and trying to keep that down. to a minimum.
According to De La Sola, he has to run a clean program or pay back all of the money Guam has received for PUA. He adds the problems with fraud and overpayments are not unique to the territory.
They see it as a rampant problem, and they're requiring me to step up and our people to step up and try to collect it. I do our best to try to stop it before it goes out, but when you're paying tens of thousands of claims, every week to every other week, it's difficult to catch every single one.
Remember, you can report fraud by emailing pua.fraud@dol.guam.gov. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas, Matanani.
In other island news headlines tonight, advances in contact tracing are underway at the University of Guam, as thanks to trainers from the University of California at San Francisco who reached out to the home of the Tritons administration earlier this year. Our Lieutenant Governor, Josh Tenorio, explains the project.
So I'm looking forward to that being another resource that we have in the government to deal with our current situation and then plan for the future with regard, since Guam is normally is a highly traversed area in travel, we certainly have to be proactive and innovative, trying to get ways to assure our residents and travelers' safety when they come.
The island's second in command also mentioned that through UCSF, Guam would have priority access to a Roche machine to do mass testing. Yet based on how the U.S. government regulates the labs, it may be a while until Guam is able to utilize this system.
The Roche machine and the volume of it is about half the size of the entire public health lab. Wow. And so we're going through all the different ways to try and figure out how we can bring resources to expand testing capacity. But right now, the one that's more realistic and that is actively going on right now is the contact tracing aspect.
And we've got the full interview with the Lieutenant Governor. That's on our YouTube channel right now. Just go to youtube.com/KUAM News. Now, although our island community remains in pandemic condition of readiness level 1 and the primary election is officially canceled, the Guam Election Commission is still working to prepare for this year's general election. Here's GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan with the details.
We are in the process of putting together the general election ballot. The programming and the coding has been on its way. We've been starting it already. And on top of that all, we are thinking and brainstorming on how to conduct a safe general election. We will put together what is deemed a safety plan for submission to the legislature on September 14th. But before that, we will go before our board to make sure that everything is okay with them to get their approval before we submit it.
In addition, the commission is also working on mailing out the general election ballot to off-island voters by September 18th. In-office absentee voting is set to start on the 19th, 45 days from the election. And just as a reminder, online voter registration is back on, and if you are still not registered and would like to do so, you can visit the GEC's website on the World Wide Web. They are gec.guam.gov. To crime headlines now, 51-year-old Robito Decimito Carpo Jr. has been arrested and charged with first-degree criminal sexual conduct, a pair of counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct, and attempted second-degree criminal sexual conduct, all as felonies. 2 victims reported the alleged assault to police at the beginning of the month, with the victims alleging Carpo inappropriately touched them on different occasions. One victim alleged Carpo told her it was okay because he had done it to another victim. Elsewhere, 26-year-old Jamie Nedadog and 18-year-old Lucas Nedadog were arrested for terrorizing after an incident that occurred at the beginning of the week. GPD responded to a complaint down at the Agate Mayor's office, with the victim approached by both men, who conveyed that they were going to shoot and kill the victim as Jamie pointed the gun. The 2 men reportedly drove off, with Jamie again pointing the handgun out of the driver's window. As they continued to drive off, the victim heard what sounded like a single gunshot. Both Jamie and Lucas were booked and confined at the Department of Corrections. Well, please stay tuned, friends. Coming up next on Weekend Edition, Tyler Matanani has your trend spotting rundown, and Dave Delgado has your weekend in island sports.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
In case you missed it, 3 COVID-related deaths in one morning. Another this week makes 4. Our hospital nears capacity and we're still on lockdown. It's another week down, another week to go. I'm Tyler Matanani, and here's your trend spotting report.
COVID-19 remains the top story all week long as the number of deaths and cases continues to climb. Tuesday afternoon, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero made the shocking announcement: 3 COVID-related deaths in one morning. It began early in the morning with a 73-year-old woman who was dead upon arrival at the Guam Memorial Hospital. She was followed at 8:30 a.m. by a 36-year-old woman who also died at GMH. Both patients were not known COVID-19 cases. However, both were swabbed at GMH and the results came back positive. And then just half an hour later at 9 a.m., a 74-year-old woman died at the Naval Hospital. Guam this week remains on the stay-at-home order, yet the test positivity rate remains alarming at over 10% on Friday. And on Friday, the governor again began her briefing with word of another death. The 59-year-old man with comorbidities was admitted to GMH on August 25th for respiratory failure and tested positive for the virus upon admission.
One more person. One more person with family, friends, and people who loved him. One person who still had a lot of living to do. To the people of Guam, early in the pandemic, I said, we must prepare for rough days ahead. But even then, I could not have imagined losing this many people to this virus so soon.
By soon, the governor explained there's been an increase in deaths by 180% since April. The rise in deaths, test positivity rates, and hospitalizations led the governor to announce also on Friday, 1 more week of lockdown. So now we have until noon, September 11, to stay home and keep this virus from spreading. Let's take a break and hear some of your thoughts. On Instagram, Ethan Arcast says, just shut the whole island down for the whole month of September. Never mind about what the protesters think. There are people dying, bro. Another comments, lock the island down because a job won't take care of your family if you're 6 feet below. GP Cruise 09 also says, keep opening up places, Nye, and this COVID-19 will keep spreading. And lastly, one commented, condolences to the family who has lost their loved ones, but our island needs to be on a full lockdown. Come on, people, stay home for everyone's safety. Now the passing of 4 residents brings our island's total to 14 COVID-related deaths as of Friday. And this has overwhelmed our hospitals, especially for doctors, nurses, and other staff at the hospital. The governor, a former ICU nurse herself, described their efforts as non-stop, walking into the line of fire every day with no end in sight. This week, it was announced that help was on the way and Department of Defense health workers would be arriving on Guam to assist the island's public hospital. From nurses and doctors to respiratory therapists, the military workers will be deployed in 2 phases for 30 days. And it's well needed. The skilled nursing facility is finally opening up to manage the overwhelming number of COVID-19 patients, where the concern again is staffing. From the beginning, it was designated as a COVID facility, but has not been in use because of a down chiller unit. It's finally been fixed. Here's what you had to say. Turning it over to the Facebook comments, Anita Kitchichu says, "Good, Governor Lulian Guerrero. You're just doing what's best for your people. I really agreed with your decision." Krista says, "Good job, Gov. Unless everyone follows safety protocols, we will stay in PCOR 1 until cases go down. So if we stay in PCOR 1, it's our fault. No one should complain unless you really don't care about a healthy Guam." Michelle Flores writes, "They saw this coming months ago and they still didn't prepare for it. They waited for the second wave to hit to figure out what needs to be done. Damage is done and numbers are out of control." Lastly, Jeanette Tatautau says, "Guam has years of natural disaster preparedness. This is a first for Guam to experience a health disaster. Do what needs to be done." And while we mourn additional victims of COVID-19 this week, we also mourn a longtime island leader. Former Speaker of the Legislature, William Don Parkinson, passed away this week. He was the majority leader from 1989 to 1995 and served 7 consecutive terms as a senator. He repeatedly sought the establishment of an unemployment insurance program for Guam and was one of the earliest proponents for alternative energy sources on Guam.
We are looking at another week of lockdown. I know many of you are itching to get out, meet with your friends, and some of you are doing that. But please stay home and do your part. Understand that your actions can and will help keep this virus from spreading. Remember to keep those masks on. Until next week, adios.
We give most of our waking hours to preserve yours. When we're in it, nothing exists but you and the person that needs your help. It can be difficult at times. You can't help but take the weight of what you've seen home with you. There are days or nights that I need to leave it all behind, to let it go in the wind. But I'll always come back. I am a first responder, and I have given my life to this.
Social distancing may be the new norm, but connection will always be our tradition. Through good times and tough times, we remain connected with you. Masks may be the new fashion, but protection will always be our style. You can always count on us to protect the things that matter the most. Sanitizing may be the new routine, but caring will always be our practice. We care about your loved ones and the things you value the most. And as we welcome our new normal, one thing remains certain: we will always be here for you. We're open and ready to serve you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. Tonight, we're talking with Olympic hopeful Jacinta Sumagese, who's trying to qualify for the Olympic Games in the sport of Olympic weightlifting. Before the whole numbers started to climb and, getting back into training, forcing another island-wide lockdown, how were things going for you in preparation for the 2021 Games?
After the first lockdown, heading back into training, it was a little bit rough. Definitely wasn't able to hit my numbers that I was prior to the lockdown, but eventually got back to training, got back into the same routine, and my numbers got right back up there where it needed to be for our next competition that was supposed to be in April. I'm sorry, September.
You were one competition shy of qualifying for the 2021 Olympic Games in Tokyo. And let's talk about that grind and the places you were able to represent Guam.
The last competition I was supposed to compete in to qualify for Olympics was supposed to be in Nauru. It was the Oceania Championships. It was scheduled for April, but then because of COVID, it got pushed back to September. So we were training when we got back from the first lockdown. That's what we were training for. Then eventually it got pushed back to 2021. Prior to that, the to qualify for the Olympics, you needed 6 competitions in each period time frame, and the first one was back in February of its Cup in Thailand, and then we went to Pacific Games in Samoa, which was also Oceania Championships. Then I went to Worlds back in Thailand again. And then just recently in February and March, I did a back-to-back comp in Australia for the Australian Open, and then Ohio at the Rogue Fitness international competition with in junction with Arnold's.
And you don't come away empty-handed from these competitions. You bring home some hardware, and you're representing Guam, and you're also medaling at the same time.
Yes, so I've been coming back with silver medals in each competition. Other than that, Australia Open, I came back with the bronze. But those are all a good insight on me hopefully qualifying for the Olympics for Guam.
And you've come a long way from your first competition in the Philippines in a much different weight class. Now you've cut a lot of weight, stepping onto the platform in a different division.
So when I first started weightlifting, I was in the 63 kilo weight category. And then I dropped eventually to the 58. And then in order to qualify for Olympics, I had a better chance competing in the 55 kilo category. Of course, because of the whole COVID, it's been a lot. I haven't been training. So I have jumped up into the 59 kilo weight class, but I'm slowly trying to progress back down to the 55 kilo in my comp weight. Yeah, it's been rough.
And training at CrossFit Chamorai, it's suitable for the team and definitely suitable for your sport, because you spoke in earlier interviews talking about not having to share weights and having your own little area at CrossFit Chamorai.
So it's definitely an advantage to train in an area where everyone has their own weights. We don't have to share bars, and we can focus on ourselves during the training. But then, of course, having the team camaraderie to cheer us on and stuff like that. But then also too, because of the whole COVID situation now, it didn't change a thing with us for training. We don't share bars. All the platforms are a good distance away from each other. So it's a great atmosphere. And that's the hardest part, is finding a place where we can all train at one time and not have to share platforms, share bars, share weights. So that way training is just more efficient.
And how do you like your chances for qualifying for the Tokyo Olympic Games? And what's the feeling like knowing you have a legit opportunity to step onto the world's biggest stage?
My chances are, I want to say, pretty good, as long as I compete in the 6 qualifying competitions that are needed. And to have a goal to step onto the big stage and represent Guam it'll be a huge experience, a lifetime goal, especially because I've never considered myself to first pick up the sport and then to actually compete competitively. So it'll be a great experience, definitely for anybody, and a lifetime goal.
And I think just growing the sport in general. I mean, the success of you and the other members of the team will definitely open the doors for future athletes to hopefully want to step into the sport of Olympic weightlifting and, you know, one chance maybe be in your shoes in the near future.
Oh yeah, I love my team. I love the teamwork that we have. We're very welcoming as well. If you want to come and try out weightlifting, we always encourage. Everyone has to start somewhere, so there's no need to be embarrassed. There's no need to, you know, be ashamed about not knowing what to do. Coach Ed is very patient. He loves that, you know, you want to come try it out, and then eventually go to love it. Then that's his biggest take about the sport, is that he loves to see his athletes fall in love with the sport and strive for future endeavors.
All right, it is the weekend. We are all staying home and staying safe, but we're going to party now because it's time for the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Your weekend birthdays go a little something like this. On Saturday the 5th, happy birthday to Derek Jonathan Pinonia. Happy blessed birthday to my son, Love Dad. Ruben Marlano III, happy birthday number 5 from Mom, Dad, and your brothers. Tiana Gabriel Diaz, happy birthday number 23 from Grandma and Grandpa Diaz. Enjoy your day, and they're very proud of you. Joseph Sablan Dimion, we would like to wish Joseph a very happy birthday for a long life of 72 years from Sinahanya. We love you from your friends and family. Happy birthday, sir. And on Sunday, September 3rd, Joel Warford. Happy birthday to honey/dad/papa. That's a lot of responsibilities. Love, Loriana, children, and granddaughter Kayani Joy Cabrera. Austin John Cruz celebrates birthday number 13, and you are getting love from your Cruz and Calvo families. And on Sunday, May Duarte. Birthday blessings to this beauty, kind soul, queen of our Zumba and of our hearts, May. We love you plenty, sending virtual hugs. Have a great, safe, and healthy weekend, and all, please have a happy birthday. The Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club is always available, and we invite you to go on, register, and let someone know that you are thinking about them on their birthday. It's our pleasure to make that happen. Please, everyone, we got to stay safe, we got to stay healthy, we got to stay apart, and we got to wear our masks and our gloves, and we thank you at KUAM for doing so. Please be safe for Guam, for your neighborhood, and for your entire island. From all of us here at Guam's News Network, we'll see you next time.